Hello, good day, everyone. You are welcome once again to our live stream as we've been doing every week on Thursdays. We bring to you on board people who have been successful in their graduate school journey so that they share their experiences with us. So I'm here once again with one of my brothers who is currently in the United States and he just finished his school not quite long ago and he's coming on board to share his experiences with us. You're welcome, Brother Richard.
Yeah, thank you, Sly. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to also share my experiences as far as education abroad is concerned.
Okay, so how has your day been going so far?
Yeah, I think pretty much it has been a good day. It's rained a bit and the sun started. We are in summer, but this time around, I think that things change a bit because previously in summer, you only experience the more of sun, more of heat. But this time around, experience a bit of rain, a bit of tornadoes, a bit of sunshine. So yeah, it's a mixed reactions of a whole lot of stuff.
Okay, that's prevalent to hear.
Yeah.
So, just a quick one if you can run us through your background, like what you had back home, your academic background, what you were doing before you finally took that leap forward to come and study in the US.
All right, sure. Once again, thank you for that opportunity. So, my name is Richard Mensah. I'm a Ghanaian, and so I finished my undergraduate degree in Ghana with first class honors from the Ghana Institute of Journalism. And prior to going to Ghana Institute of Journalism, I went to Governor Senior High School in the Volta region, which is in the Ketu North constituency, where I pursued general arts. So it was after that period that I break a bit. It's always important for people to know that sometimes when you are in school, it is not everyone who finish high school and get opportunity to continue to go to university. Some of us we finish high school, we spend like 2 to 3 years at home trying to find our feet before we progress to the university. And sometimes when I look back, I think that taking that break where you now consider to learn some few things like jobs, some skills and stuff to raise money kind of prepare you better for things ahead. Except that sometimes you feel like you are lagging behind, you are being behind because you see your colleagues that you have finished high school with, and majority have proceeded to the university, and then you are still at home 2 years, 3 years down the line. Nothing seems working for you. So sometimes when you see yourself within the class, you'll be like you are below the ladder. But yeah, here I am today. So from Overness Senior High School to Ghana Institute of Journalism, which is now University of Media Arts and Communication, and now to Iowa State University. Yeah. So a bit of my background. Yeah.
Oh, okay. In your delivery, you mentioned that you went to Ghana Institute of Journalism, that is GIA.
GIG.
GIG, okay.
Yeah.
I think they've changed the name now, if I'm right.
Yeah, it is Unimac University of Media Arts and Communication.
Okay. So, what did you study there?
So at GIJ, at the time I was there, we have like two mainstream degree programs, which is public relations and journalism. So I have like Bachelor of Arts in journalism.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us what inspired your graduate school journey?
Yeah, I think that I am one of the people that kind of have like that kind of bold. I say things even if there is no penny in my pocket. So it's like I say bigger things about future. So while I was in GIJ, I've always been promising myself that well, me, I'll do my masters abroad, even when I don't have money, even when I'm the one paying my own tuition back in GIJ. I still believe that there is hope that I'm going to continue my masters abroad. So while I was in GIG, I put in the effort. I did not graduate as the best graduating student, but I put in the effort that I just want to be among the first five people who have first class from the school. And unfortunately, it worked. So once I got that qualification, I put it aside. One thing I also believe in life is that first thing get the qualification. Even if you don't have the money, have the qualification and look forward for whoever that's going to help you or where the help is going to come from. So
Okay.
when I finished my undergrad in 2020, then I did my national service. So from 2020 to 2021. So while doing my national service, I've been following one woman in Canada. I don't know whether she was in Canada at the time or she was in UK. I don't know if I'm permitted to mention her name, but every dawn and anytime I have the chance at where I was doing my national service, I watch her videos. They call her Dr. Linda. You may have come across her. She do a lot of videos on travel abroad, education abroad, and opportunities there and all that. So, like, I got inspired by some of the things she shared. How when you travel abroad, you are not the only one going to benefit. It's a family you are alleviating from poverty. It is a line of, things that you are creating for your downlines. It's a whole lot of opportunities you are creating for your dependents. So I got inspired by some of those videos and some of those things. Then while doing the national service, I took the advantage to be checking on schools, to be checking on both UK, Canada, USA, and Europe. And I started the whole process, how to go about the whole thing. I mean, when you start first, it looks like kind of a confused journey because you don't know where to start from, you don't know where to get to, what is visa interview or what is, so a whole lot of things. So I have to spend midnight bundle actually. I'm someone who kind of I can sleep early and then wake up late in the night to use the midnight bundle in Ghana. So I actually do a whole lot of things. So I mostly watch YouTube videos just to understand how some of people who have gone through the process made it and just step by step, and I was able to, get here. So when you ask me of the inspiration, probably it's some of the people who have taken the lead, the things they share with us, and how I've also have that confidence that yeah, I have what it takes to also study abroad. I mean, it's something that surprises my classmate, it's something that surprises me myself, it's something that surprises family. But yeah, what is written is written. So I'm here today. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So you made mention of you watching YouTube videos, you
Yeah.
following Dr. Linda to get information. So how were you able to tell yourself that okay, this is the program I want to settle on, and these are the schools I want to apply to? If you can let us know.
Yeah, so when I follow those people, there are those who also advise that sometimes don't be too much focused on whatever you want to study. Sometimes you may want to do something in communication, but if you know that maybe you can do something in social work too, if it is that side that there is funding, just apply to it and justify why you are moving from communication to social work and what have you. But I have first class in communication, so when I followed the people, there are those who studied economics and all that, and they are still pursuing economics and all that in the US or in the UK. So I started, okay, once I have communication background, and there are those who also say that, well, if it is the US and then you have first degree in a field and you are diverting to another field, sometimes when you go to the interview, they will ask you why are you changing your field and all that. I don't know. So me, whatever information I was consuming online, I was also being mindful of how I'm going to go about the whole thing. So I was just like, okay, then since I have first degree in communication studies and journalism, why wouldn't I go to online to go and search for schools in the US that offers a master's in communication studies? That's how the whole journey started. Schools in the UK that offers masters in communication studies. And so I'll just go to Google and go and type, and then some schools will pop up. Some of them will be online, some of them will be on campus and all that. Then I'll visit their website, read
So
about
just a quick,
it.
a quick follow-up. Whilst
Mhm.
doing that search, was your focus on getting only admission, or your focus was on getting admission with funding or some assistantship to help your journey?
Trust me, I don't have money before I started this whole process. So while doing it, I was much more concerned about the funding too, because if I get admission, which I got admission to a lot of schools in the UK. You know, UK, they only give you like tuition discounts, like some 10% tuition discount, and the rest of it you have to come and pay, which I couldn't afford that. So it got to a point I dropped searching or applying to schools in the UK. Then I focused on schools in the US, because then I also had other people who also share insights about how they were able to secure fully funded scholarship, graduate assistantship, and what have you in the US. I'm like, okay, then it is doable. And then so I then focus on the schools in the US. So what I do was that when I see the school, I then look at, okay, who do I contact? Then I go through the school's website. Some of the schools, they indicated program director or program coordinator or what have you. Then some of the videos I watched, they were like, yeah, if you want funding, you need to build that kind of relationship with your program coordinator, or or whoever that is in charge of that program. So when I go to the website of the schools and I see that this is the program, they are doing masters in mass communication and journalism, and I see who is the program director, then I'll copy. I have an Excel sheet created that I have names of schools, courses they offered, the intake that they like they have. Some of them they only admit students in fall. Some of them they only admit students in spring. Some of them they admit students in both fall, spring, and summer. So I have Excel sheet created, and I have list of schools, the intake, and then contact person. So who will I contact? If it is the program director, program coordinator, then I put the person's name and the email there. That way, make it easy that once I populate this sheet and I'm now writing my email to them, I have a database that I can always go to and go and write email to whoever I want to write the email to. So when I do, I always ask, is there a possibility to secure funding? I'm a first class student, but then I come from very low economic background, or I do not have so much of finance to finance my education. So I would appreciate if I can be admitted with some form of funding. In fact, most of the schools will admit you and say that the first stage is admission. They will they will think about like scholarship after admission, and then sometimes it is competitive, so you have to wait and be in the queue, and then you receive emails like, we are sorry you
We'll come
couldn't
to
pass
that
through.
point. We'll come to
Yeah.
that point.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So a quick one. You
Mm,
mentioned that you watched a couple of videos on social
yeah.
media, that is
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and whatever,
YouTube and Facebook. Yeah.
and you were new to the process. Was it
Mm-hmm.
not so overwhelming or confusing to you, like navigating the school's website, trying to filter appropriate information that
Yeah.
is for you and not for
Yeah.
maybe domestic students?
Yeah, trust me, it's when you start new, it's always confusing and overwhelming, because I don't even know what is graduate assistantship that to talk about. So I had a former schoolmate. She was my senior. She's still in the US now. She's called Pamela. And when I started the whole process, I saw that she was also in the US. So I sent her a message on Messenger telling her that, oh, I have interest to kind of also apply to study in the US. I mean, trust me, some of the questions I asked her at the time, this recently I look at some of those questions and it looks funny to me, because I'm like, these are dumb questions. You know, those kind of things that when you are there, you don't know. So you are like, okay, so how do I, one of the questions I asked, so how do I contact the program director? She said, oh, go to the website. I'm like, oh, this school, they don't have it on the website too. She said, oh, it's there. And then she was busy at the time, so she was like, okay, let me go and search. And then she went and searched and pulled the contact details for me. So trust me, when you start, it's a confusing process, because you don't know which place is the starting point and which place is the end point. That is why I always tell people that at least when you watch some of these videos, it guides you. Not all videos that provide like detailed information, but there are those like your platform that provide like step-by-step process that bring people who embark on the rightful process, and then what takes them there. So that way you are able to know. So yeah, the Google search continues, the program search continues, the program director search continues, and then creating of my personal database to document the schools continues, and then putting in the application. Oh, when we come to SOP, CV and all those things is
We'll
another
come. We'll come to all
is
those things.
another crazy thing. Yeah. So
So
yeah, that's it. It's not an easy journey when you start first, but when you have somebody who have gone through and have even provided you with voice notes or something, it guides you, then you can pick it up from there. You don't
okay,
also want to just be solely there to be fed, but when you want the people to meet you halfway, it's always the best. Yeah.
okay. So how many schools did you apply to in all for US and for
For
other countries?
US, yeah, for US, I trust me, I applied to like not less than 30 schools.
Come
I
again?
did not less than 30 schools.
Like you did more than
Yeah,
30 applications.
yeah,
Are
30
you for real?
applications. Yeah,
Or you
for real. So,
exaggerating?
and I think I got so I got admission to three of the universities.
So
So
out
I
of the
even
30 plus, you
mhm,
only had three admissions.
three admissions. So you can imagine.
Wow.
And it's kind of rigorous process because some of them you need to put in. They have letter of intent, statement of purpose. Those two things just get human being confused. And I'm like, what is the difference? Why wouldn't you just request for one? Because the same school, they're asking for letter of intent, um,
Okay.
goal statements, and a whole lot of things. But I got admission to three of the
Okay.
universities, and
Okay.
I think I chose Iowa State University
Okay.
to come in.
So you applied to 30 plus schools.
Mm-hmm.
That calls for financial commitment.
Yeah.
That calls for your time, like your personal
Time.
time
Yeah.
commitment,
Mm-hmm.
and that calls for other resources commitment.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
did you navigate the financial side, especially application fee, applying to over 30 schools? How
Yeah.
did you navigate the financial side, if you can let us know?
Okay, so this is how I was able to subsidize my finances. So when you go to some of the schools' website, they have what we call open house for graduate students. So those open house events, when you join, they give you application fee waiver. Application fee waiver means that the school will send you some code when you are applying. You indicate that, oh, I have application fee waiver for this because I attended your graduate open house program. So some of the schools gave me um, that kind of waiver because they gave me a code, then I apply for free. Some of them that I did not get a chance to join their open house events, I emailed the coordinators, and then some of them agreed to give me um, that kind of waiver code for me to put in there and then submit my application. Other ones, I pay for it. So it is not that I just apply free. There are those that they will tell you that no, they don't give application fee waiver. And that I mean some of the emails, then they will be like, well, if you cannot pay for application fee, we are wondering how you'll be able to take care of your tuition when we admit you. So it's not that you should just go ahead and then pay the application fee. At the time, some of the application fees ranges between $30, $50, $60, and $70 and all that. So yeah, that has been the trend. I think the maximum I paid was $100. But because I start my application early and then I checked on these schools early, I also know that how much they charge for application fee. So while doing national service, I made a plan that I'm putting some money aside for application fee. That way, when the time comes, I just pay without, because like someone say no pain, no gain. If the schools will have all good policies for assistantship and all that, but if you're unable to pay for assistant and your application fee, then how would you be able to, navigate through the whole process? So that's what happened. And financially, it will cost you, and then to cost your energy and your time. But trust me, it's one of the best things you can ever do to yourself, that you really mean this cause and that you really want to embark on this journey. And trust me, it's not like I just got up one day to do it. It took me 2 years to successfully accomplish this dream. So I always tell people that if you start this journey, just give yourself 2 years, that within 2 years, you are going to make it. Yeah.
Okay. Does your school have science and technology attached?
Yeah, Iowa State University of Science and
Science and
Technology. So yeah,
technology. Okay,
that's the page
so
you just opened. Yeah.
to all my over 100 viewers watching and listening now, I've just displayed the name of the school. I've shared on
Mm-hmm.
the screen so you can just have a look at it. We'll navigate through their website as the session goes on. We'll
Mm-hmm.
be checking some few stuffs on their website, so don't worry about that. Let's just continue with the questioning for now. So let me just stop sharing my screen. Okay, so in all, when you do the calculation, how much did you spend on the application fee, even though you
Mm.
applied to particular schools?
Yeah, at the time I can say that I put aside like 2,000 cedis just for application fees because some are $30, some are $50 and stuff. So I just put like 2,000 cedis aside to take care of application fee. That I remember very well. And so
That was in
those,
which year?
I think that was like 2021 to 2022. So I started everything from 2020, but most of the payment happened between 2021 and 2022. Yeah, so I
Okay,
put that aside and then
okay.
both the waiver
My
cost and
focus, my
some.
focus is still on your over 30 applications that you submitted.
Yeah.
Aside the financial challenges, and you've made it
Mm-hmm.
clear to us that you didn't actually pay application fee to all these over
All
30
the
schools
schools.
that
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
mentioned. Let's talk about your transcript.
Mm-hmm.
All these 30 plus schools, were you required to send an official transcript, or they
Mm-hmm.
accepted unofficial for decision purposes and you later sent the official? And
Okay.
also, did you do a transcript evaluation like using WES
Mm-hmm.
or Spantran or any of the NACES member evaluation organizations? So I've asked three
Okay.
questions in all, if you can take them for us.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of the transcript, yes, some of the schools will require you to upload your unofficial transcript. When a decision is made, then you can contact your school to send them the official transcript. Some
Okay.
of the schools also require that, oh, just let your school send your official transcript to us to this email. And then some of them also require that, oh, you can post it. That way it gets to us for us to use for decision making. But most of them, they allow me to upload the unofficial transcripts. And
Okay.
then when a decision was made, then I contact my school to email or to send over my transcript to them. There are some that I have to go and post and all that. There are some that the school just have to kind of send it via email. Once they receive it through the school domain, they agrees that it is authentic, and then they can use it for the admission purposes. Of course, I did not do transcript evaluation because at the time I was doing the application. In fact, when I see any school that say, "Oh, we request for West or Spartan evaluation," then I skip because at the time there are still more schools that still accept your international study transcript without necessarily have to convert it into a US qualification or US equivalency. So I skip those schools that require you to submit West evaluation transcript. But that is becoming more often for now. Almost all the schools. Previously, some of the schools I applied to who do not even request for these things are now even requesting for that. So that's how I was able to navigate through the transcript process. I do not have to constantly visit my school because then they have a digital process that you can request your transcript, put the institution details, make payment, and then um, your details are sent to the school. So that helped me a bit for
Oh,
that process. Yeah.
okay. So if we are listening now, we have over 100 people watching us. Our brother said he made it intentional to skip schools that requested for official transcript.
Yeah.
Because before your school in Ghana will send you official transcript, before
Exactly.
a decision is even made, it will cost you something small. I don't know
Yeah,
if some
yes.
schools do it for free, but some schools they actually charge
I
you
think for so far, no school in Ghana send your transcript for
for
free.
free.
You have to pay.
So, in your search process, you can be intentional and apply to schools that accept unofficial for decision purposes. When you
Yeah.
get admission, you get your funding, then you now send your official so that you don't end up sending maybe all your official transcript to, let's say, 10 schools that you're applying to, because some schools, they are very, very strict on official. They wouldn't
Official,
accept
yeah.
the unofficial.
Yeah.
So
And even
let's
there
say,
are some of the schools that will even tell you that, oh, just put your unofficial there. We will do the evaluation at our end ourselves. So that even helps some of the applicants to save cost on it. So you don't really have to go and do it. Yeah.
then he mentioned that with transcript evaluation, looking at the background he was coming from, he couldn't have afforded it. So he was also intentional about applying to schools that didn't request for WES or Spantran evaluation, because with WES currently, I think the cost by cost ICAP is around 233 US dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And when you convert that money in Ghana cedis, that is
Yeah.
much. But
Mm-hmm.
if you have the money and you can afford, why not go for it? But
Yeah.
if you don't have the money, that simply means that skip schools that request for your transcript to be evaluated, because there are schools that will accept your international transcript and do
Yeah.
their own internal
Yeah.
evaluation.
Evaluation. Yeah.
So, what of your school currently? Have they brought in that transcript evaluation thing, or they still accept your international transcript?
No, I currently they still accept your transcript from Ghana. So they will ask you to either post it or bring it when you are coming. So when I was coming, I brought my transcript and
Oh,
certificate
okay.
here. So,
Okay.
but they give you timeline to submit if you report to school. So you just have to make sure that once you report to school, you send it to the graduate college and they do their own verification and background checks. If it is authentic or fake, they will alert you or something. So yeah,
Okay.
currently it's still the same. They don't ask you to provide. That is in my department and some few other departments. I don't know if other colleges or they will require, but I know that my department, you don't need to um, provide evaluated transcripts. So
Okay.
yeah.
And still on your over 30 schools
Mhm.
applications that you submitted,
Yeah.
how did you navigate the issue concerning submission of recommendation letters? Because
Mhm.
if I am a lecturer or a professor and only one student is applying to over 30 schools, which I am to recommend, at a point in time, I think it'll be tiring, or I'll find it like boring or something like that. So, how did you navigate that
Yeah.
headache?
I think that I am kind of an advocate for the fact that universities in Ghana need to establish departments in charge of recommendations.
Okay.
Because over the years, what I've seen is that they will always ask you to be in touch with your previous lecturers or professors whom have taught you by the years. But I'm like, some of them got transferred, some of them are on study abroad journey. So, how do you continuously keep in touch with these people? But if the school have department for or a unit for recommendations and transcript provision, it's easy. Even if I go 5 years time and come back, I can just say that, hey, I need recommendation to this schools. This is my course. This is my transcript. You charge me, I pay. Then you just help me with institutional recommendation to those schools. So some of them, this is how I advocated that it should work. But how I navigated the whole process was that the initial step was that when I was in school, I have a very good rapport with most of my professors or lecturers. So when it comes to recommendation, they just say, oh, just let me know when you need it. I'll submit it. Or can you send a draft so that I adjust it to fit your school or whatever you want it to be said in it so I can submit it. So because I built that rapport with my professors and some of the bosses at work, submission of recommendation becomes easier. What I do was that I alert them ahead of deadline and also provide a template or let's say a draft of whatever it is. What it also means is that you help reduce the burden of they taking time to write the whole thing all by themselves and submit for you. You know the school you apply to, you know what you want it to be highlighted in your recommendation. So if you give them that draft, it's not that you are thinking for them or something, but some of them request for it. Some of them also draft and share with you to see whether does this reflect what you want us to submit for you. Once you say yes, they will do it for you. Some of the schools also require you to upload the recommendation. So What I told my recommenders was that, oh, if I can have it on the institutional letterhead, because some of the schools require that I upload,
But
then
I
they
think
agreed. So
most schools are moving away from that system of
yeah,
the
most schools have moved
applicant
away.
being able to
Most schools
upload.
have moved away. They
Yeah.
now say that just put the recommenders email, and then a link will be sent to them, and then they will submit the recommendation on your behalf. So I always keep them updated. I always keep them posted or what next I'm doing that way. And then sometimes if it is a week to deadline, then I keep reminding them. Sometimes it's so difficult to secure recommendation from professors or our previous lecturers. Sometimes they also say that, well, we have finished school for some time now. I don't really remember when you were in school. Yeah, I agree, because they deal with a lot of students. So you don't expect that they should keep, they should keep you in mind always just because you come for recommendation. So it's always this kind of struggle sometimes to secure recommendation. That's why I am always asking universities to establish units where recommendation and transcript requests and all those things doesn't become a challenge for the students. In as much as the students will also look forward to build rapport with their lecturers or professors. It's not everyone who can socialize easily with their professors or with their lecturers. Some people, they only come to class, study, and they go home. They don't have the time to say hi to a professor, or the time to say, oh, sir, what are you up to this weekend and all that. So sometimes if you come to recommendation, it's just difficult that how do I go back to this man and say, sir, please, I need recommendation? It's always tough.
Yeah.
But if there is a department or a unit in the school or administration that provides recommendation, I don't need to, sometimes kick the ass of the professor or my lecturer before I get help with recommendation. And I've also seen the tough one where some colleagues do not secure recommendation because those who are supposed to give them recommendation delayed them. They pay application fee, but the application has to be rejected because the school say, "Oh, we are sorry, we couldn't receive all the three recommendations or all the two recommendations from your university or from your people you provided. So try again next time." So yeah, that's how I navigated my path. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned your unofficial transcript. You
Mm-hmm.
mentioned we spoke about recommendation letters.
Mm-hmm.
What were some other documents which you used during your school application? If you can mention some of them for us.
Yeah, I think one of the first thing that's after they have checked your qualification and everything, one of the important documents, let me say, is also your resume. Your CV plays a major role because then now that they see that okay, you have second class about third class lower or something, or third class or lower class or something, they also want to see what have been your track record in terms of what is your CV saying about you. So I realized that I have kind of research experience, undergraduate research is also a research experience. And then I also have like volunteering skills, and I also do like few other things, teaching and all that. So it helps a lot. It was recently I was discovering that, yeah, if we are selecting someone for graduate assistantship, we want the person to understand a bit of research. We want the person to understand probably a bit of what teaching is all about. Although they will teach you, but they just want you to have that kind of acumen that when you come, it doesn't become so difficult for you. So your CV plays a major role in all this process because after your academic records are checked, they now want to check on your CV. Have you done something in relation to whatever you're applying to? What are your volunteering skills or what have been your experiences over the years? So what I did was that on my CV, some of the volunteer activities, some of the articles I've written, I put them there with the links. Some stories I have ordered, I put them there with the links. So it was recently I was even discovering that when they were reviewing your profile, they check some of those links just to see. And then I also got to know that, oh, they go to LinkedIn just to go and check how you are doing well or what kind of things you post on LinkedIn. At the time I was doing the application, I don't know much about LinkedIn. I don't really post much on LinkedIn. So that didn't work in my case. But in recent times, I will urge everyone to kind of put whatever small, whatever big they do on LinkedIn, because most admission review committees just copy your name, go to LinkedIn just to see what kind of professional are you on that page or on the various social media page. So I think that my CV plays a very vital role in the whole process beyond my statement of purpose, because it is your CV or your resume that will help you draft your statement of purpose.
Okay.
But
So aside
mhm,
your academic CV or resume,
mhm.
what other documents were requested by the school?
So
Because
yeah,
we
some
want our followers to have like a brief idea of what documents they will actually require. So we
mhm,
mentioned your transcript, which you said you used the unofficial. You didn't do any evaluation. You
mhm,
mentioned recommendation letters from your
yeah,
lecturers, which were
mhm,
submitted by them directly. Since
yeah,
you used the institutional email, then you
yeah.
mentioned your academic CV just now. Can you mention
Mhm.
any other document which you used as
So the
well?
next thing that they will ask you to do is your statement of purpose, statement
Yeah.
of intent, or yeah. So that one is always on the institution's website. When you are applying, they ask you to write maybe 500 words or 1,000 words describing why you want to apply to this program. I always say that it varies from school to school. So you can't just write one and use it for all the schools, because the school expects you to highlight specific things in your statement of purpose or your statement of intent. So you just do not write one and use the same thing for all other schools. You always have to tailor it to fit the school or fit what they want highlighted. And because the statement of purpose is limited to 500 words, maybe you want to describe how you have involved in community service work, but because you are limited to 500 words, that is why your CV is a backup. You can highlight the key things that you've done in your statement of purpose or intent, and then your CV has more portion of it. So that differ from school to school. Some of them is just 250 words. In fact, 250 words is not enough for you to explain much more about yourself. So your CV will redeem you when you mention that, oh, I was once a project lead for this, or I conducted a research into this and all that. So that is another thing that was I use statement of purpose. Then another thing is writing sample.
Okay.
I recently talked to one student who finished school and do not cannot recollect her dissertation. I'm like, how are we going to navigate through? Because the one of the things that the school asks you to provide is your writing sample. In your writing sample, you can always use your undergraduate thesis to kind of defend that aspect. What they want to see is, are you good in research? Have you done some form of research before and all that? So that will also be required to be uploaded. They just want to see whether you've done, because before you finish your 4 years degree, at least you may have made the requirement of doing a long essay or doing a thesis or whatever dissertation. So if you
Yeah.
don't even if it is a group work, if it's like there are some schools that my thesis was a group thing that we did, it was a group dissertation. So I uploaded it like that as with the group name and
You
everyone's
didn't
name.
you didn't do like any little changes. You just uploaded everything.
No, so they didn't require you to kind of reduce it to maybe this way. So I just uploaded a PDF
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
But there are some that they ask you individual writing sample. So you can seek permission from your other team members and say, this is what I'm doing. So I'm going to just put only my name on this and submit. What it also means is that there are plural verbs in your writing. Uh, we write to acknowledge the following people in our dissertation. If you are now submitting a group thesis as an individual thesis, you will also want to change some of those language, because how can individual be using we? So they will know that it's a group work that you are submitting as an individual. So some of these things are there that once you do, you put yourself on the right path to kind of fully meet the admission requirements and then stand up to be selected for your um, admission process in the university.
Okay. So, and aside the writing sample, like no other documents, you don't remember
No,
any.
so no other thing because most
Was
of
it every school
most
that requested for the writing sample, or only some of the schools?
no most of the schools request for the writing
Because
sample.
of the field which you were applying into.
Yeah, because you're applying to masters, and then some of the schools, because I was applying to journalism mass communication, they will ask you to record uh,
Okay.
video record of yourself while you intend to apply to this school. Some of them will ask you to upload reels of your work you've done.
Okay.
So there is a collection of my news articles that I've written. So I just copy the link, put in documents, and those that request for sample of news articles that you have authored, then I'll upload them there. Yeah, some of the schools, when they say writing sample, and then you go ahead and put maybe a news article, they will write back to you that no, they don't want a news article. They want a research work so that you can upload your undergraduate thesis. But I am coming from mass communication and journalism background. That's why I have both the thesis and then the news article. It's not everyone who is going to have the news article. So,
Okay.
but everyone, at least, even if you did double major or so in your undergrad, you still have, I think, creative components, or you still have writing sample or long essay. So, or you can also present one of your school projects that you've done, kind of that meets the requirement. Some of the schools, they only ask you to upload like a 20-page writing sample. So they just want to see if you are able to write well, and you're able to kind of write like a researcher or graduate student or something. So it's not too perfect, but it's something that has been supervised. So it's near perfect. Then you can use those ones. Yeah.
Okay. So did you use the same statement of purpose and the same CV or resume for all these over 30 schools that you applied to? Or you did some little changes to these two documents that I've mentioned?
Yeah, with regards to my CV, I think at the time it was like 5 pages or so. There are
Okay.
schools that are straight on 2-page CV or resume. So I mean, if you don't adhere to simple rules, they will not admit you. So there are schools that also advise you to just upload a page statement of purpose. You are limited by page, so it doesn't matter if it is 300 words, if it is 100 words that goes there. So you have to check what exactly is this school in need of to submit. That way, you adjust your document, especially your statement of purpose, and then your CV to fit. Of course, if they said 1-page resume or 2-page resume, and you end up uploading 7 pages resume, it's automatic disqualification. So we don't want to do that. I mean, there are those who may overlook that and still go ahead and assess your application, but I just feel like maybe you are stressing them because they will be you know checking over 500 applications. So why are you stressing them with your 7-page resume? Then another document I also used was English proficiency. There are some of the schools that will ask you to either provide IELT or show that you have had education in English, and therefore you are proficient in writing and speaking of English. So I got that letter from my university. That one, they don't ask your university to send it to them. That one, you upload it. So I got that letter from my university. So I just kind of upload it. What I also do was that some of the schools, though they do not request for it, sometimes when they are reviewing the application, they can request for it. So when you're uploading your documents, there are sections for other documents. You can just upload that and say, this is for your English proficiency. That way, if they are reviewing, they download your file, they are reviewing everything at once. And if you qualify for the program, they just admit you. Then of course, my travel passport, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So before I continue with my questions, I have a question here from one of our listeners and our
Mm.
viewers. He's asking, did he apply to only communication related programs?
Mm. Yeah.
That's the question.
So okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you can
So
see the question on the screen.
yeah, I can see the
Sure.
question. Yeah. So Frederick, thanks for that question. Yes, most of my programs I apply for one of the university I apply for public policy. That is Pepperdine University. Pepperdine University, if you have a first class, it's a private university, but they give good funding. Except that when they admit you, you have to pay. At the time, it was $400 before they will give you full funding. But it is full funding, cover accommodation, everything. Yeah. So I applied to public policy. I just look at like because my program is a social science, so I apply for public policy, international relation, and communication. I look at the schools very well and weigh my chances and then apply. But almost all the courses I apply, there are things that coming from communication or journalism background I could do. Of course, I could do public policy. Of course, I could do international relation. And of course, I could do journalism and mass communication. And these are the three key course areas that I consider. So you can also see how my SOP is going to be. Because if I'm applying for public policy program, then I have to now discuss how my career goals and why that university and all that. If there is a professor doing something in public policy I like and I want to collaborate with in the future work, I mention all that in my SOP. So yeah, so those are the three course areas that I applied to. But sometimes if you are from the engineering, you are you are just limited to kind of to that line. So it depends like what your future careers look like, what your future goals look like, and then even if there is a change of future career goals, yeah, you can still go for it. You just have to justify it in your statement of purpose where you are moving from an engineering to nursing. Yeah, I mean it will be an interesting thing. Yeah, and then I see people cross carpet in terms of fields of study and they are doing well in those fields. So yeah.
Okay. So, as someone with a first class
Hmm.
and you applied to over 30 schools, I know your expectation was to get at least more than three admissions.
Yeah.
Were you not disheartened when you had so much rejections and just three admissions?
I think that I wasn't so much worried because once whatever king crowns it all, then I was happy. The mistake I did, and I think a lot of people also are doing some of those mistakes. We target big schools. Big schools are very competitive. A lot of people are applying. So, though you also have the faith that, yeah, me too, I can apply, they will pick me.
What
The
What do you mean?
competition.
What do you mean by big schools?
So in the US, we have like R1 universities, we have R2 universities, and all. Those are like ranking schools that when you just Google right now, you see them. Like they are just available on the Google search engine, right?
Okay.
So if you target some of these big schools, you'll be receiving shocks of your life. There are some of like smaller schools that we don't even get to hear of them, but they exist. So you apply and then you realize that trust me, I never knew of. I was is an R1 university anyway, but it hasn't been a school that came in mind until like one lecturer mentioned it in class one of the days that we were having uh, a course in and during my undergrad. That's why I took my time to check it out. We hear of Ohio, Harvard, Ivy League schools. I mean, if you're in Ghana, you're applying to these schools. Yeah, they will motivate you to apply and all that. But trust me, the focus is gonna be. Yeah, I know like there are some Ghanaians or there are some Africans that gain admission, but why wouldn't you rather channel your energy to maybe the less known schools? What matters is they offer a program of your choice, they provide you funding, you get here at least you also have your masters, then you can leapfrog to the Ivy League. At least if you say in your lifetime you also want to attend Ivy League school, when you finish your masters, you can apply for certificate program in Harvard. Go and do it, and at the end of the day, you also have it on your CV that well, you also attended Harvard some. So yeah, that is some of the things that people do not know, that when you are applying and then your eyes are on the bigger schools, you get a shock of your life, because then they are also looking at, they are highly competitive. They are looking at people who have good experience, not people who just finish school and come in, or not people who just focus on academic, but people who have a blend of everything. And so, yeah.
Okay.
Mm,
So talking about the three admissions that you had,
mm-hmm,
let's focus on these three schools now.
yeah.
When you are applying to these three schools, did you apply for graduate assistantship
Mm-hmm.
during the application process, or when these admissions came, there was no funding and you had to apply for funding separate? If you can clarify that.
Okay, so let's talk about with Pepperdine University. When I did the application, I read about their scholarship and all that. So once you are admitted, you'll be offered the funding, but that is subjected to you paying the tuition deposit. You don't really need to do any other thing before the full funding is awarded. Iowa State University is the same thing. Once you are admitted, you'll be, it's not that automatically you'll be put on funding. First stage is admission.
Okay.
Second stage is when they now look at the availabilities of how many professors need teaching assistants or research assistants, and then how much do we have. That will determine whether they will be, you'll be considered for graduate admission funding, graduate assistantship or not. And then of course, when you do Alabama and the Ohio's too, they also have their own criteria. But I think most of the schools, what they do is that the first stage is admission, and then the second stage is to offer you funding. So first of all, Iowa State, they gave me admission, and then they were like, yeah, you were admitted and this is your course of attendance. Unfortunately, we couldn't have funds for you. So if you are still able to take it up, we'll be ready to welcome you in the fall semester. But if not, you have the chance to either defer for future terms, and then we see what we can do. So that's
Okay,
what
so
happened
you
in my,
actually applied for the fall semester,
yeah, the
but
fall
but,
semester.
but it came without funding.
Yeah.
So what did you do in this situation?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a kind of a funny journey, because when I applied, the department only have 5 slots for
But
graduate
but
assistant.
wait, but wait. Oh, what of the other two schools when the decision came?
The
Or
Pepperdine went there.
The Iowa came first.
Yeah,
Okay,
Iowa came first, and I was
okay,
holding on to it without
okay.
funding. Pepperdine came with its own condition, and the Ohio's and the Alabamas also have their own condition. But when Iowa came, it came without funding, because I was made known that they only have like 5 slots for assistantship and 1 slot for an international student. So that means
That's
that,
one slot for an international student.
yes, that means that because of visa issue, they were like, most of the times then we have international students given slot, but they don't have visa to come study. So they only consider that. So when I had the chance, there was no funding. So then I was still in touch with the program director, and I was like, what's next for me? Because I cannot finance it. And she was like, well, I can defer. Like, okay, so I'll defer to the spring semester, which starts in January,
Okay,
February. So okay,
okay.
if something comes up, I should get back to me. And then once a while, like every new month, I send her a message just checking in, just if something comes up. I know they are busy people, so I just keep the communication ongoing, and so that if something comes up, please let me know. So fortunately, um late in the year, she got back to me, say, hey, I got some 10-hour assistantship for you. Would you like to take it up? I'm like, yeah, what are the conditions? You're like, yeah, this is just like graduate assistantship. You'll be a teaching assistant. And then what you will do is that, or what that also means, that your fees will be converted into in-state tuition. In-state tuition means that you are no longer considered as an international student. You are now considered as a national student. So you'll be paying the fees that other nationals also pays.
That
So
is
if in my department,
the domestic fees.
yeah, the domestic fee. So if in my department they admit other US citizens who are also on the 10-hour assistantship, if they are paying like $5,000 as a fee, that's the same thing I'm going to pay because now the university employs me as a teaching
So how much
assistant.
was the institution as at the time?
So
Like,
I think the institution, I don't really remember it because it's been a long time, but
okay.
I think it's somewhere around, is it 10,000 after stipend or so? I think I sent it to you, right? Yeah, I
Yes.
forgot, but I mean,
Let
it
me,
was
I can just
much at
double
the
check for
time.
you whilst we continue the session. So,
Yeah. So when I got the institution, that kind of brought me a bit of relief because when I combine the full tuition that I'm getting from Pepperdine and the condition, then I consulted some few people. They were like, "Yeah, just forget about the private schools. Iowa State is a big school. If you send it for interview, trust me, whether you have 10-hour assistantship or 20-hour assistantship, you are going to get your visa." So I dropped every
okay.
other school, just
So
focusing on.
I found it.
Okay.
As at that time, the tuition and fees was
Mm-hmm.
$11,282, and
Yeah.
the living expenses was $15,416. So in all, your
Mm-hmm.
total cost of attendance was
Yeah.
$26,698, which makes sense. It's cheap.
Which makes it that's quite okay at the time, but it's not affordable if you have to come without some
Funded.
form of funding.
Okay.
Yeah. So once I was awarded that 10-hour assistantship, then that was the breakthrough. So when I say 10-hour assistantship, what it means is that we have full 20-hour assistantship, which you can either be a research assistant, which is RA, or TA, which is teaching assistant, or yeah. So I work as teaching assistant when I came in the first semester. Subsequent semesters, then I work as both teaching assistant and research assistant, which move my fees from 10 hours to 20 hours, which reduce my cost of attendance low because then it covers a lot of my tuition. So that constant communication with the program director, I think, was what brought the breakthrough. And then for the fact that Iowa State is a public university, I kind of dropped any private university that was in my mind. That wasn't to say that private universities aren't good, but at the time, I don't have so much information. So those who have been there say that, oh, Iowa State is a big school. Take it, leave the rest. They are private schools. I mean, yeah, so I just choose the public school, and I think that it wasn't a bad decision I have made till now.
Okay. From the time you submitted your application
Mm-hmm.
till the period which Iowa State University came with a decision, how long did it take?
Um,
I don't
I think
expect you
I
to give me the exact number of weeks or months, but maybe just an estimated range.
so this is how the application process works.
Okay.
We are in 2025 now.
Yeah.
If you want to apply for funding and application, which is for fall 2026, you have to start now. So fall 2026 application is always open sometimes in August. Some of the schools open it in September. Some of the schools have already opened it. So you always have like a year ahead in making application. So if I've been admitted in fall 2026, that means that I have started my application in the fall 2025. So you always have to have a year ahead in doing the application. So that's how it works. So I applied, though the whole process started 2 years ago, but I applied like in the fall, and then I got admitted for the next fall, and then I deferred to spring. So that's how it works. So you always have to have a year ahead in doing your application. Yeah.
Okay. So among the entries,
Mm,
that is spring, which begins in January, February,
yeah.
summer, I think May, June, then fall, August, September.
Mhm.
Which one will you recommend prospective applicants to go for and why?
Okay, so I think someone asked me this question the last time. This is how it works. If the institution admits you as a graduate assistant and then they give you assistantship in the fall semester, that means that the school has considered you as an employee and expects you to come and assist that professor. So for the fall semester, you must what? Make it a point to come, because if you don't come, the school cannot assure you that the same funding will be available for you in the next semester.
Okay.
But if you are admitted as an international student and then you don't have funding, probably you are having the mindset to do self-financing, the spring semester is one of the best I always talk about.
Why?
Now I'll tell you why. So the reason is that when you come to spring semester, so the spring semester starts somewhere January and then sometimes end around maybe May or sometime before May. Okay, so it's sometime like 3 months. It differs from school to school what their spring semester means or something. So when you start and then you end it, what follows is the summer semester. The summer international student, most of us do not take courses in the summer. It is the time where we work 40 hours a week to raise money for your next semester fee. So because you will not be taking courses in the summer, it's advantageous to you who is doing self-financing because you would have worked 40 hours a week to pay what? Your tuition in the fall semester. And then in the summer, you have like 3 to 4 months, depending on your school, to wait at home. So while you wait at home, imagine working 40 hours a week and then you have to work for 4 months or 3 months. You would have accrued money for your rent, for your remaining tuition, and for what have you, for your food and everything.
Just
And
a
that
quick
will push.
favor. Going to the embassy with
Mm-hmm,
self-financing,
mm-hmm,
you and I know is very, very tough
yeah.
these days.
Mm-hmm.
Will you still advise people to choose the spring self-finance? That is, go with, let's say, their own bank statement or let's say family members' bank statement without any funding and go to the embassy for their interview?
I think that based on the um, various news I've read and various comments from friends and colleagues who have gone to do visa interview, I think that funding is becoming an integral part of the visa approval process. It is not that once you get funding, automatically you secure visa because we have had incidents where people even had full funding and they were
I
denied.
I
We
I,
have
I
had incidents.
I have that case today. A friend actually went to Burkina. He got
Oh,
denied, fully funded PhD. He had overfunding, but he got denied today.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's also not that once you have fully funded program from a US university, your visa is assured. So, but these days, at least it helps you, let's say, more than 70% of the chances because some embassies would have considered you as, oh, you are a good student. That's why you are selected for this program. That's why you were given this amount of money. And so, and then no country around the world wants to hire people who are not highly intelligent. And once a university admits you and give you funding, sometimes they consider you as a good asset, and then you also help them, develop their country or their university also benefit from whatever skills or knowledge that you have. So I would say that funding now plays a critical role if you have to go for visa interview. But this is what happened if you apply to universities that have like low tuition. Let's say the tuition is around um, maybe 13,000 to 20,000. Sometimes it does work, but that one too is maybe like one in thousands.
Okay. So
It,
talking about universities that offer low tuition, what are some of the states which you think some of these schools can be found where prospective applicants can focus or tailor their search tours when they want to
yeah,
begin their
I
process?
think that one of the schools is Eastern New Mexico University.
Eastern New Mexico University.
Yeah,
Let me
and
just
then
type
you
that and
can,
display
yeah,
it.
check it and see. And then you can also check Southeast Missouri State
Is that what
University.
Eastern what New Mexico?
Eastern New Mexico, yeah. I think ENMU also, yeah, Eastern New Mexico. Yeah, their cost of attendance for the communication program is very low. And then people also say that the coastal areas, that's the cold regions, when you go to the core regions, you can sometimes get the tuition affordable in some of those states because people do not want to go there. But I think that gradually almost all those things are changing. And when it comes to funding issues now, there are a whole lot of issues surrounding funding. So it doesn't even matter now, whatever the school, if the school is suffering from funding challenges from federal governments and all that, or their donors have cut off because of one or two things, you are going to try your best, but it's just not going to work. But the more you keep trying and diversify your school search or your approaches, the more probably a door will open. It's not like you just try one and then you give up. Because if I'm to apply to maybe just 10 schools and all of them, there hasn't been any good feedback or something, I don't think that I'll be here today. So
Okay,
I always say, yeah.
just a quick one on funding.
Mm-hmm,
We know this process is time consuming
mm-hmm,
and includes you spending finances.
mm-hmm.
And I, for one, wouldn't love to apply to a school
Yeah.
that at the end of the day will admit me and will
Mm-hmm,
tell me there is no funding.
mm-hmm,
Because I would assume that I've wasted my money looking at my background.
mm-hmm,
So, how can one identify that, okay, this school that I'm applying to, this program and the department
mm-hmm,
will fund me? Even if
mm-hmm,
they don't fund me in this particular semester, maybe the
mm-hmm.
upcoming semester, they are going to fund me if I should defer my program, just like in your case. So, what strategies can one use to identify some of these tricks so that prospective applicants don't end up wasting their time paying application fees, getting admission, and at the end of the day, they don't get funded? So, if you can share some tidbits on
Yeah,
that.
I think that funding is not something that any professor will assure you that, oh, apply, I'll give you funding, because that is they will just, oh, we have looked through your documents, it go, we encourage you to apply, and then we'll see. So, but one of the things that sometimes work is you reach out.
So,
So
that
your
is through,
name,
through the code emails.
coordinators, writing the code emails. But even one thing about the code email now is that people really use AI to send cold emails, forgetting that if we both send the same generative AI messages to professors, they can see it and they can read it. If sometimes you are just emailing a professor, introducing yourself, where you come from, and your intention, it shouldn't be a thing for us to be worried about, but rather going to use AI. So, I mean, you can see how frustrating it would be if everybody just generates something and sends. So, I will always advise people that, because you are now coming into the institution, so don't let them see that you are such a lazy student. You are just using, generative AI to just compose an email and send. Specifically, like write it. Okay, specifically write it and reach out. When you are reaching out, I always advise that add your CV and probably your transcript, or you can summarize your CV and your transcript in the email, so that even if they don't have time to view your document, they can read the email and understand. And when you are sending your document, you can always save it as PDF so that they can view it well. It's not everyone that can view sometimes Word documents or the Word extension or something. And then sometimes two people also made a mistake in labeling their document. The name of the document is document, so they just upload it like that. Sometimes just name your document right with your name, maybe CV underscore Richard underscore Mensa. Name your document right before you send the email. So constant reaching out to the advisors work. Another thing that I've discovered recently is that when you are admitted for the first time and then you didn't get funding, go back and work on your resume, right? And then reach out to maybe program director that, oh, since last year that I've been admitted without funding, I have done some significant stuff that I have included in my resume. I would like to tender it again for the committee review. We're like, oh, sure, submit it for us to see. Maybe at that time you have done some research things, you have done, yeah, some people always want to maintain the existing file, the existing document on file, but I always say that go back and update your CV. There are things that you did and you think they are very small, but you can be the only one who will shout your praises. Nobody will shout your praises for you. So if you have gone somewhere to go and teach some underprivileged students or something, write it or couch it in a way that this is what I've done and this is the impact it has created, because they are always looking for people who are kind of creating an impact. And then once you do some of those things, you update your resume and then you send it, and then you can also update your statement of purpose and then you send it, and some of those will do the magic. So as I reaching out, if in a 1 year time you would have done something great, so add it, update your CV, add the courses that you have taken, add some new things that you have done. I mean, people have finished school and they are home, and I'm like, you can't send a CV which currently you are not doing anything, you are unemployed. At least find, like, create your own business. Say maybe you are into something, delivery, community service, or IT teaching, or freelancer or something. Why would you have on your CV, oh, you are currently unemployed? Like, I do not advise people to have a CV of that nature. At least create something so that at least they know that this is you, other than, like, just that. So some of those things are what gives you the breakthrough. Just sitting and saying that, oh, the school is going to admit me with funding is not always the case. So yeah.
Okay. So I am on your school's website now, and I
Mm-hmm.
think the program, that's the program that is journalism and mass communication. If I am right, yeah, journalism and mass communication.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone interested in this program, I'm just going to scroll through the admission requirements now. Let's look at it.
Yeah.
So it says a 4-year bachelor's degree or equivalent, your academic records or transcript,
Mm-hmm.
minimum CGPA of 3.0, proof of English proficiency. And when you click on it, let me see. When you click on it, it tells you that for international applicants, let's see. For international applicants, let's see what they tell you for the proficiency. As our brother said, it's not actually compulsory to write an IELTS, as he mentioned earlier. So
Yeah. And then
good.
some of the schools also, while you go through, some of the schools also mention GRE, IELT, GMAT, and when people see, they get worried. That is the chance for you to reach
Good.
out to the school to
I've,
find
I've
out.
seen I've seen that portion. So it
Yeah.
says earn a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree from a country where English is the official language.
Mm-hmm.
For a list of such countries, you can even email the admissions at iowastate.edu, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll give you the list of those countries.
Yeah.
So that is what I was trying to show our viewers and listeners. Now let's
Yeah.
look at international requirements. They said financial statement. Are you supposed to upload it during the application or after
Uh-huh.
the admission?
That's one thing. Currently, they require you to upload it during the application. When I was applying, you get admitted before you are required to submit that document. But
Okay.
now they have updated the system. But people also get worried that, oh, if I upload bank statement, that means that they are not going to give me funding. So some people delay. But I always say that, oh, just upload it. Because if you are selected for graduate assistantship, you'll be selected for it. It's not like you just upload a bank statement. So they will
Okay.
not be you will not be considered for funding. Yeah.
And it says application deadlines, rolling examination of applications. But
Mm,
students who wish to be considered for assistantships should submit applications by February 15th. This
mm-hmm.
program is open to domestic and international students. So
Yeah.
please, as we have seen, it says what?
It is in
It's
rolling
rolling.
phase.
You can apply as
Yeah.
it goes. But if you want to be considered for assistantships,
Mm-hmm.
there is a particular date that you have to try and submit your application either on or before that date, which is February 15th of next year,
Yeah.
2026. Some
Yeah.
schools also tell you maybe December 15th, 1st December, 31st December, ending of January, 1st January. So it is
Yeah.
dependent on what? School by school.
Oh, yeah.
So let's take
And
note
what
of.
it also means that at that deadline to your recommendations, all documents should be received by the university.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm also trying to just go through. Please, if you have any question, just leave it in the comment section. I'll read it out to our guest and he'll respond if you have any question, please. I'm just going through the website so that you see other programs that they have. If you're interested, you can check them out and apply. So the A column, we have accounting, agriculture and biosystem engineering, agri-economics, agricultural education, agronomy, animal breeding, and a whole lot. The B column, we have biochemistry, business administration, chemical engineering, civil engineering, neuroscience, molecular and cellular and developmental biology, organic chemistry, philosophy, physical chemistry, plant biology, plant breeding, political science, public management and policy, real estate development, rural psychology, science education, seed science and technology, soil science, special education, like a whole lot of programs. And
Yeah.
they can either be PhD or masters or both.
Masters.
So
Mm-hmm.
once you click on the program, you'll be able to tell whether they have masters or PhD. So, for example, I've clicked on education, and they said what we offer doctoral, masters, and certificate programs. So that means that
Yeah.
what the degrees offered are one, Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, Masters of Education, Master of Science, Online Masters of Education, Online Doctor of Education. And the
Yeah.
area of specializations have been listed below. So please,
Yeah.
we are navigating the website. These are very important things you have to look out for. So let's take note of that. And the admission requirement too, I've just scrolled down here. And you can even check. You can just copy the link to the program website and put it in your browser and it will take you directly to the program website so
Mm-hmm.
that you can get more information. No GRE required, no GMAT required, no IELTS or TOEFL required. So let's take note of that. Okay, let's continue. So
Yeah.
please, as I mentioned earlier, if you have any question for our guest, you can just go ahead and ask him. So since you were not fully funded,
Mm-hmm.
how did you navigate the interview at the embassy? How did you
Yeah.
navigate the interview process?
Yeah. So if you have like 10-hour assistantship, which is like a partial funding, and you are going to the interview, before you receive your I-20, which is like the document that you'll be given to go for the interview, you'll be required to provide a bank statement. But now they require you to upload it even before you are admitted. So
Okay.
you'll be required to provide a bank statement which covers the remaining aspects of your deficit. So once you provide that, then they will issue you the I-20. And then whoever that is providing that bank statement, it's either it can be your uncle, your auntie, your boss at work, or the company you work with, or yourself. Or if your church can support, that is fine. Just as I mentioned earlier, that you need to build a good rapport with people, let's say your professors, where you work, and maybe with your pastors. That is how bank statement also comes into play, because at the time you are applying, you do not even have like, let's say, $5,000 in your account. So if they ask you to show a bank statement of maybe $10,000 as to cover your deficit individually, it's gonna be a big money for you. But if you are close to maybe your boss at work, and then your maybe some people that you think that, oh, this person, when it comes to last, I can get in touch with them and they'll be able to help. Yeah, then you do that, because then you can't go anywhere, or nobody can give you a bank statement or proof of financial status for sponsoring your education if they don't know you. So the person must know you to be able to give you that financial statement, owning allegiance that, yeah, this is my nephew, this is my cousin, this is my whatever, and I'm going to sponsor you. So that is how it works. So I got a bank statement, and then to cover my remaining deficits, and that is what I used to sail through the interview. And when I went to the interview, I think it was smooth at the time, because I rehearsed very well. And then we have what we call mock interviews. So I joined series of mock interviews, got prepared, and oh, there was one very good guy. They call him Richmond. He was the one that has a
Yeah,
good.
Richmond. Yeah.
You know Richmond? Oh, Richmond was
Yeah, I
One
know
of the
Richmond.
group guys. Yeah, he has a group, so I joined those groups. I got to learn a lot, and so going for the interview was smooth for me. But it wasn't that rosy because when you gain admission, you are given your I-20. You have some fees that you have to pay. Like I have to pay like $350 for service fee,
Service
and I
fee
have to pay $185 for
for the
visa fee.
MRV.
Yeah. So it wasn't easy. Trust me, I finished my national service, and the little monies that I have was all that I was using for this thing. In fact, when I was going to pay service fee, it was a hard decision for me because I'm like, hey, this is my last money. Should I do this and it never go through? Then I will come back to ground zero. So if you watch my status, I always write that what if deters people from taking a very difficult decision. The word what if. What if I fail? What if it didn't work? What if I wasn't selected? What if, like you like just write what if and add any negative words to it. If you follow what if, you will never make progress sometimes because you are like, what if I get denied? I mean, these things played in my mind severally. What if I get denied? This $350. I mean, it's a lot of money. As for the 185, it wasn't much of a thing because at least it's less than $200. But paying that $350 and that money, because I am in Ghana, I have to get somebody in the US to pay for. And the people who help you pay, they will not just take the $350 because of bank transfer charges. Some people, you have to put the money into their account in Ghana, they pull it here in the US, and when they do, the bank will charge. So I always tell people that have like $400 as an estimate that you want to spend on service fee, though it is $350 back. Before you deal with this bank transfer charges and all that, you would have gotten close to 380 there about dollars. So yeah, when I was about paying that money, I mean, a lot of what if came in my mind, but I just move ahead to pay, hoping that when I go, I'll get a visa. And if I don't get a visa, the service fee lasts for at least a year. So I was still hoping that I would try again before my service fee expires. So that is what actually um, helped me out. So I would just encourage people that look, whenever you want to take certain decisions and it's playing in your mind, what if, what if, what if, just ask yourself, what if it works? Because when you are asking yourself, what if it doesn't work? So what if it works? Let's say, okay, then we will jubilate. So what if it doesn't work? Then we are sad. Then we go back to factory reset and then we start again. Yeah, so that was how I built myself up, and then I think it really worked out for me. Yeah.
Okay. Looking at your I-20, your deficit after the funding, everything was around $10,000,
Mm-hmm.
which to me is not bad when you look
At
at
this
yes.
time, it's not bad, but at that time, that you don't have like even $2,000 in your account. I mean, it took me time to get helped out. Trust me, because the I received the offer to produce my I-20, and I was chatting people, you know, please, this is the situation. Can you help me out? I mean, you get discouraged along the line, but yeah, you still have to keep knocking doors. Sometimes you feel like, oh, I don't want to ask this person. Oh, I don't want this person to know what I'm doing. But to get to a point that people just have to know what you are doing because you are going to ask them for something.
Yeah.
So I have to keep knocking doors like, Charlie, I need bank statements. I need that. Yeah, I mean, you look beyond your family because if you are the first person in your family to make this breakthrough, and then you are still looking at your family to give you bank statement, I think like it will take you a year. So you look beyond your family and look at the extended family, look at the church, look at your community, and look at maybe people that you are close to just to see how best they can help you. Yeah, and that has been the trend over the years. Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Um,
10,000 at the time, trust me, it wasn't like easy. At least now when you tell me $10,000, I'll be like, oh, that's affordable. But at that time, no, trust me, it wasn't affordable. It was a huge amount of money for me. Yeah, yeah.
Looking back
Mm-hmm.
and considering the fact that you did over 30 applications and got three admissions out of the over 30,
Mm,
and when you are being asked to do applications currently, over 30 applications, I believe for some years now, you've helped people. You've
mm-hmm.
learned a whole lot, and you've realized that even in some of your applications, there were some mistakes. That is why you were not considered by the department. So, what are some of the things you will avoid in case you are submitting a new application or you are helping someone to submit a new graduate school application? What are some of the mistakes you advise them to avoid so that it doesn't cost them during the decision making process?
Okay. So in my earlier submission, remember I mentioned that I have people that some of them submit the application and the recommendation didn't go through. So it's not that how the system works is that you submit the application at your end. You have three people that are supposed to submit recommendation. Maybe two may submit and the other may not submit. So at your end, you are counting that as a completed application. But the things that are supposed to make it complete will not work through. So if you are not in constant check with your recommenders, you can do application, put your document, do everything and all that. But if they do not submit your recommendation, your application is going to be rejected. If you do not follow up with your university to make sure that they submit your transcript, your application is going to be rejected. So
But with that one,
almost mhm,
that is universities that say strictly official transcript. If I'm
official transcript, yeah, official
okay,
transcript, yeah. Let's say if they say, oh, we will only consider official transcript for assessment of your application, yeah, you just have to make sure that you follow up with your university,
okay.
and then always with check up with the both university because the receiving end will say they haven't received it. The sending end will say, oh, we have sent it. So like I think it got to a point. There was a time I was like, can you please copy me in the email when you finally do, which they will not do anymore because it's official. I'm like, oh, you can blind copy me in the email when you finally do. That way I know that it was sent. They were like, yeah, we'll do that. And then sometimes when you are writing these emails to most of the professors, some of them don't reply. I mean, if you're applying to Canada schools, it's even worse. When you write to professors, some of them do not reply. Yeah, I've written to professors, some professors in Canada, they have replied to it. But I think the US is quite better. US
Yeah,
is quite yeah, US is quite better. Some professors are responsible. Even if they will not take you in their department, they will find a nice way to say we are sorry. You could look for another professor. That's good. But there are some too who are some program directors. You can send an email. I am on a case right now. The student have been sending email since February last year. The program director doesn't reply. So what would you do if the program director doesn't reply? And when I call, the program director picked. I was like, oh yeah, oh okay, I've seen the email. Oh, I'll reply. So there's no reply. Okay, so what you can also do while you are sending emails, it doesn't go through. They have their office numbers there. Sometimes you can just call. It's expensive to call to make an international call back. Sometimes you just have to make a call to the department and say, I'm this person. I've been trying to reach you via email, but there hasn't been any feedback. So you say, is that true? So can you hold on? Let me check my email and something. Yeah, sometimes it also show your seriousness of like if you just write and go and sleep, they receive tons of emails every day, and then they receive tons of maybe calls or things every day, including institutional tax and what have you. So if you send an email, the person doesn't reply, don't go into hibernation, don't hide, don't sleep. You still have to consistently follow up. That way, you you are showing your relevance, the interest in the program, and then you are also letting them know that, hey, I said I want to come and study in your university. So yeah, those are some of the things that, like, and then also not to focus on just the Ivy League schools, the big schools and all that. Yeah.
What of the documentations when it comes to like your statement of purpose, that's the SOP, or your
Mm-hmm.
letter of intent, your resume, your writing
We
samples?
even have like a diversity essay. I forget to mention.
Good.
I think some of,
Good
yeah,
diversity is as well, especially those applying to higher education programs, student
yeah,
affairs in higher education, or
yeah.
masters in higher education.
Mm-hmm.
When it
Or
comes to these
some,
documentations, do they also lead to denials? Are they also reasons why some people,
mm-hmm.
even upon first class, impressive background, they still get denied?
Yeah. So what's happening now is, or what I've realized is that almost everyone is using generative AI to write their statement of purpose.
Okay.
And what it means is that the ideas may look good and whatever, but they want to see your uniqueness, your voice in the statement of purpose. So what the I'm an advocate for AI because my research area is in AI and information integrity.
Okay.
But I always tell people that use the AI for suggestion of ideas. When you use the AI to suggest the idea, or okay, this is what the school wants, suggest for me what and what I can mention in my statement of purpose. This is my resume. Then AI will give you a parameters of things to focus on. Then adapt that and then use it to create or craft your own statement of purpose, where we want to see your voice, or where we want to hear your voice. Even if you use the AI to generate the whole sentences, can you not go into now be specific about specific things? Because the AI will give you just a general thing based on maybe your prompts that you gave. So now go into your statement of purpose and then what? Update it. And there are institutions that actually frowns upon AI, that do not use AI to write your statement of purpose, or else you'll be denied. And some of them run these things through um, plagiarism checker or AI checking systems. So you just have to monitor the policies of the school before you provide some of these documents, so that at the end of the day, you don't pay application fee and get what rejected. And most at times to watch out for the open house sessions, join and then reduce your cost of application, because some of them would have given you application fee waiver to use, but not all of them. So you also want to be careful. Some of them will tell you that no, we don't give application fee waiver. So when it happens that way, you just have to fund it. And yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to Iowa State University,
Mm.
did you take any efforts to increase your funding, or you plan to pay the remaining 10,000 deficit that you had when you went to the embassy?
There was one of the questions you asked me. How did I even pay the remaining deficits? Okay, so I got a bank statement and all those things for deficits. When you come to campus, when I came first on the 10-hour assistantship, there are on-campus jobs that you need to do. So as an international student, during the school period, you are expected to work for 20 hours. Um, you are expected to work for 20 hours. Now, if you're on assistantship, then that means if you're on half-hour assistantship, that means that you have 10 hours remaining. So you are expected to work remaining 10 hours. So I have worked like for the remaining 10 hours to cover my remaining tuition. And on-campus jobs are there. You can work as administrative assistant in other departments. You can work as you can work in the dining, like serving food, or in charge of greater, where like you swipe people's card, or yeah, there are a whole lot of units in schools that you can work at. And then in summer to you work, and those are the things that will help you to pay your remaining tuition. So when you find yourself in any institution and then you are on partial funding, look forward for other departments that may have funding, or that may have some kind of job offer for you. then you just apply. Once they pick you, do your 10-hour remaining. That will help you pay your tuition.
Okay.
So those are some of the things that you do to also um, take care of your remaining tuition. Now, I was able to move
In
from
your
10
case,
hours.
in your case, we
Yeah,
want your case.
in my case. So yeah, I was able to move from 10 hours to like 20 hours because then when I came to Iowa State, I don't know, but I was able to like kind of do a whole lot of things. I was a student doing my personal research. I got my abstract and um, research is accepted in both local and international conferences. So
Okay.
I think that along the line, my department realized my relevance. So in the subsequent semester, they gave me 20-hour assistantship to come and work. So that was when I was working as a teaching assistant and a research assistant. Alongside all these things, I have to also attend these local and international conferences. I think my international conference that I went last time was Sweden when I went to present a paper on AI over there. And alongside all these things, I still work as graduate assistant who is serving as a TA and then an RA. So sometimes you just have to prove your worth and still be knocking on the doors beyond your department. That way, you don't get to, struggle much in paying fees. So that is how it worked out for me. It may not be the same for everyone because some departments are strict and they have like it is 10 hour we admit you for, it is a 10 hour we are going to consider it for. But if you have the skills and stuff, prove beyond that, hey, if there is a chance, I would like to be considered. But if it is not in your department, look forward for other departments or other units like the dining or like the cleaning areas or stuff. Yeah, you can easily just go and clean. And there are some places that cleaning is in the evening, so you just go and clean maybe 5 to 9. You return to come and learn, and that is easy. And then they pay you, and it is because it's for the university, so you get paid. So that's how like I got pulled out to navigate my remaining tuition and what have you. Yeah.
Okay. There is a question here before we continue from Michael. Please, I would like to know whether business related programs also get funding.
Hmm. Yeah, one thing I've realized in recent time is that MBA programs are like, I don't know, but MBA programs, not in all schools though, but few of the schools and few of the applications that I've handled, MBA programs do not get like funding. I don't know. And then sometimes some of the business programs, so there are very like small funding. But I know that people have like business analytics and stuff. Sometimes some of the schools say come before we talk about funding. I remember we have one of the student that got admitted at Iowa State, the business school. They asked her to come. When you get a visa and you come, we can talk about funding. But you know that our part of the world too, you need a assistantship before you can talk about visa. So yeah, some schools have funding, good funding for business programs because the business will actually help the school get a lot of projects and funds. They do market research and then industry, they collaborate with industry and all that. So they get funding, but it's dependent on the school and then the kind of program. But I know that sometimes MBA programs, it's tough in terms of funding, and sometimes they will ask you to come before they discuss funding. But business analytics, sometimes you may get partial funding. Iowa State, some people apply for business analytics and they get partial funding at the business school. And then when you come in there, you work your way through, you can get another 10 hour. So it's made different from other schools as well. Yeah.
Okay. So, as a prospective applicant, what are some of the things that I can put in place to ensure that my application is solid, is excellent, is like 95 to 100% perfect, so that I can also get admitted and get a funding? What are some of the steps I can take? Because there are people who are listening to us now They are confused. They want to start the process, but they're also scared. What if I pay the application fee and get denied? What if I get admitted and I don't get the funding? So what
Yeah.
are some of the steps they can take to avoid denials, especially when it comes to admission? Because at least getting admitted is one of the steps.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the steps they can take to get admission and not get denied?
Okay. I mean, like, we can say that these are the golden rules to securing funding, or these are the golden rules to nailing it. What I can say is that every institution and what they expect you to provide, but most of the things are also, imagine they ask you to just produce a 2-pager CV, you end up producing 5 or 10 pager CV. It's a total disqualification. 1 page SOP, you end up producing 2 pages because you there what you want to write, you cannot summarize it in 1 page. I mean, there are simple things that you can do that automatically you already know that you are violating rules. If at this stage we haven't even admitted you, you cannot adhere to simple rules. You can just imagine when you are not someone who pays attention to um, instruction. I mean, when I was applying for my further studies for my PhD program, I joined one of the
Oh, so
info
you are
sessions.
going for a PhD actually?
Yeah. I'm going for
Same
PhD.
school or a different school?
No, no, different institution. Maybe that
Oh,
one we can talk about.
congratulations! Congratulations!
Yeah,
We talk
thank
backstage.
you. Mhm. Yeah, so I joined one of the info sessions and then I asked a question. Okay, what happened instead of 500 words? If like I have a lot of things to express, they were like, you better pay attention to the 500 words because that's what we are going to read. So we can choose to summarize up to 500, or if you don't want, we 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 cut it. We don't consider you for an admission. Like, oh, okay. So some of those rules are very important. Working on your document and the rest of the things are also key. So just pay attention, reach out. If you don't understand something on the website, reach out and then you pick it up from there and just do the writing. And then the best thing you can also do is to let somebody review your statement of purpose and the rest of the things just to make sure that at least it's up to a standard. Some people will review and it is not for free, but if my statement of purpose, the woman I told you I followed, the first statement of purpose I wrote, I paid money to Dr. Linda all the way in UK or Canada also at the time. She drafted my first statement of purpose for me. It was there I learned from it. I'm someone who takes a risk a lot. So pay money to get it done first. I learned something from it. And subsequent ones,
You
I
did
did
it
it myself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I sailed through it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that people using agents can help them get fully funded affairs and just go through the process seamlessly?
Um hmm.
They,
Sometimes,
they are good. They are good ones and they are bad ones.
yeah, sometimes there are good ones and then there are bad ones. So what I always tell students is that if you pay agents to do something for you, be involved because you get to learn along the line. But there are some people that they say, oh, once I pay you, you have to do everything from school start to end. But I always tell people that look, you can secure admission now, get your visa when you get to point of entry. They will deny you entry because you don't have knowledge about what kind of visa you have, what kind of program you are going to do, which university you are going, where it is located, and all that. So you have done cost 90 if you don't get involved. And there are times that agents get hold of your account, everything, and they don't release information to you. So you don't get to know what's going on. So information sharing is important. Even if you have to use agent, as I mentioned, someone assisted me with my SOP, and that is where I pick it up from there. I can't sit here and say that, and I also have to reach out to somebody to show me how I can even locate program directors contact. I can't sit here and say that, oh, I did. I'm not those people that I did it all by myself and nobody assisted me. No, we learn from somewhere. Somebody have gone through the same process, so it is not bad to learn from someone. right? It's not bad to learn from someone. It's not bad to ask someone. It's not bad to be ready to pay for something that you know that is going to help you. So if you know that somebody can look into your statement of purpose and charge and do it right, just negotiate for better price and say, oh, please, you can give it to me at this price. It's better than, oh, you are doing it for free. Oh, and yeah, there are those who did it all by themselves, but it's not everybody that did it all by themselves. They get coached, they get guided, they watch some videos, they go to some platforms and listen to a thing or two. So that way you don't get to repeat the mistakes that they did. I did the mistake knowing that just applying to big schools, later realizing that you could have focused on those smaller schools. That way you have higher chances with your first class or second class. And even if you have second class or third class, it doesn't mean that you cannot get funding. You can get funding, but you just have to justify why you had such a low grade during your undergrad, how you overcame that situation, and how prepared you are now for a grad school. That's all. It doesn't really matter. Circumstances do happen during school. Maybe your mom was sick during school. Maybe you had a challenge and you have to spend days at the hospital, so you couldn't focus on academic work and all that. Use this to justify that is where you score a lower grade. But hey, the situation have improved now. You are now working at this place. You now do this, you now do that, and you think that you are fit for a grad school. You have justified why you have a low grade. So it's not because I have a first class, so I got funding. You can have third class and still get funding. It is how you justify your low grade in your statement of purpose, and how you also demonstrate your ability to what attend grad school. That will give you the
Okay.
funding.
Picking a question out of what you just said. You said I
Mm-hmm.
can have a third class and still get funded.
Yeah.
So what if my third class, the school says, okay, we accept a CGPA of let's say 3.0 or 3.2, automatically I cannot apply to that school. So what do I do in this case?
So recently what people are doing is that people are now doing transcript evaluation. When
Okay.
you do transcript evaluation, especially when you use West transcript evaluation, it raises your GPA a bit higher than what you have. But if the school does not ask you to do transcript evaluation, you don't go and waste money doing it. Sometimes reach out to the school and say, hey, I've watched your I've gone to your website, I've seen that you require 3.5 and above for admission, but I have 3.0. But these are the reasons why I had 3.0 during my undergrad. Is there a way that I can still submit an application for consideration? Some of the schools will tell you that, yes, sure, go ahead and submit it. We'll review it. And if there is something unique, something outstanding, you'll be admitted. So that is how it works out. Yeah, it's either you evaluate your transcript to raise your GPA, not necessarily for all schools, or you reach out to the school and also showing the reason why you got low GPA, and you're still asking if you can still go ahead and apply. There are some of the schools that will tell you that no, we admit only 3.5 people. So if you don't even attempt it, we are not going to consider it. So if they are playing with that, don't worry yourself. There are over 1,000 schools in the US. So if the school say no, we focus on only 3.5 people, don't worry yourself. Just go away. That is why it's good to reach out. You can't just see it on the website and just conclude that this is the position of the school. Yeah.
So it's always good to apply to whatever your credentials fit into.
Credential fits in, reach out to reach out if you can still apply any or something. Yeah.
And I've noticed something too on some of the graduate school, their website.
Mm,
You will see that the general requirement for international students,
mm-hmm,
they will tell you, oh, we need a 3.0 or a 3.5.
mm-hmm,
But when you go to the department, it differs depending on the program.
mm-hmm,
They can even tell you, oh, a 2.9 is acceptable, will be considered on merit basis. A 2.8 will be, even though they said 3.0 on the general graduate international requirement. But when you go to the
mm-hmm,
department for some programs, or they'll tell you with a 2.8 or a 2.9, we'll consider in some cases.
mm-hmm,
Maybe you get in and take some courses some satisfactory courses leading to you beginning the main program.
Maybe program.
So
Yeah.
those are
Yeah,
things.
I think there are some programs that also do preliminary courses that you need to take before you now transition into the main program. I have instances where somebody with diploma in nursing trying to study in the US, and then they gave the person some preliminary programs that you have or supplementary programs you have to take before you now transition into the main program. Some of them, the school will give you a partial admission, give you the chance to take those programs on their website. When you pass, you submit it to the admission and then they give you full admission. So it varies from school to school. Yeah.
Okay. Looking at the whole brouhaha surrounding the US visa process now, that is funding, first of all, funding cuts for various schools due to the new administration's policies. Looking at the policy for the 3 month single entry visa, which even doesn't really have much impact on international
Mhm.
students because it is your I-20 that keeps you in status. Is it still worth it to pursue graduate education in the US, or we should look towards other countries?
Well, I would say that the US still holds more opportunities, and just because admission requirements and things aren't that stringent like other countries where they would like, even when you are from Ghana, you must provide English proficiency like IEL, or you must be able to speak this language and all that. That is the reason why like people still consider applying to the US. And so I would say that irrespective of whatever immigration rules or whatever funding cuts is, schools are still admitting international students. Not until schools stop admitting, though there is a reduction in the number because certain departments have funding cut or reduced, still apply if the dream is to come here. But if you try one, two, three times and it never works, you can also try other countries that may probably not have like a very fixed um, admission requirements or application. That's maybe when you submit your transcript, you submit your English proficiency letter, it is considered. Yeah, I mean, you can start from somewhere before you end up somewhere. I have somebody who have to move all the way from Qatar to Thailand and Thailand to um, US now. So your dream country, the destination may be US, but if you are trying to go straight, it's not um, happening. Go around it and then see where you can start from and end somewhere. There has been this proverb they were like, if they give you a tree to climb, if you face the tree and then you are unable to climb it, go around the tree. You definitely find a pot or a spot where you can fix your hands and your legs in and then climb the tree. So it's always not like this is where I want to go and that is the only place I'll focus on. You can diversify your search and then hopefully there will be a way out. Yeah.
Okay. We have over 250 people watching us live on X, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Please, if you've not subscribed to the Delali Network channel yet, I would kindly urge you to just do that right now. Visit our website that is on YouTube. Click on the subscription button. The Facebook page, if you've not followed us, follow us there because we post information concerning the study abroad process for several countries there. And please don't forget to share also. Invite your friends to join us this and every Thursday so that we can have this session. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section because we are going to wrap up very soon. And
Yeah.
I'll ask my guest so that he'll respond to them before we leave. It's unfortunate that I don't have much time today, so I can't share the link for you to join me live to ask your question. But if you have any question, just leave it either on X, on YouTube comment section, or on Facebook. I'll see it at my end here. I'll project it so that he can respond to your question. Okay, my last three questions
Mm-hmm.
before we close the session for today. What are some programs
Mm-hmm.
that we often overlook, but once you enter into those programs, you might one way or the other get funded? If you know of any of such programs, you could share with. some of our listeners and viewers so that they could also look at it and give it a shot if they qualify to apply?
I think that mostly if we those who are in social science, we are those that mostly suffer from funding. Those in statistics, those in engineering, those in yeah, those people the so this is how it works. Those in social science, it is the department that funds them. Those in STEM, it is their professors that funds them because the professors have ongoing projects that sometimes are like NSF funded projects. So, like a federal something, or maybe they are doing some project that is of national importance. So that professor secure grants and is looking for students to assist him or her in that project. So when you are admitted, that professor is the one going to be paying your fees. So that is the difference between those in STEM and then those in like social science. Social science, most of the time, the professors do not are not those that kind of pay you. It's only few of them. It is the department that pays you. So for my communication, it's not like my professor that pays you, it's the department that pays. But I know people who are in the engineering department that yeah, their professors tell them, hey, I'm the one paying you, and it is this project that we are working on that is bringing the money. So you got to be serious and all that. So that is the thing. But at the end of the day, you cannot say that, oh, if this is how it is, then I'm changing my field to go and be into engineering if your interest is not there. So I would just say that people can still keep pushing, even if you are from the social science background, it's not an engineering background. Now, when you come to school, sometimes there is what we call CPT. CPT is like curricular practical training, which allows you to work in industry alongside study. What it also means is that you can work more than 20 hours, which is allowed for regular students because you are doing something which is related to the course you are studying. So
Okay.
let's say if I'm studying nursing right now, I can apply for CPT, which is curricular practical training, and then I'll be working with a hospital or care home. That way, I can still earn extra money alongside study. So if I have 2 years, you know that I'll make more money. Maybe the nursing home, with the working with the nursing home, I would have ended up working like 30 hours, even in school days. So I always advise people that when you come, look forward for opportunities like this to see if you can see the chance to work with an industry where you'll be on CPT, a reduced. Sometimes some of them come with a reduced cost too, because you are doing something in industry that is helping your cause. So that also gives you more income. Uh-huh. So those are some of the things that people can look forward for. So like I'm in the communication department like this. Let's say if there is a media house that I can work for, maybe as a social media assistant, I'll just let my advisor know that, oh, I've seen this job vacancy. I want to apply for it. When they say they agree that I can join them as an intern, they will be paying me and I'll still be schooling. So that is like CPT because social media intern or reporter or writer is related to the course I'm studying. So the department will allow me to do internship there and alongside school, and I'll end up getting mine. And these are some of the things that sometimes they will not tell you. And people will come and spend like 2 years studying. They don't take advantage of their CPT. So, raking some money. So, yeah.
So, is it everyone at all who is able to do the CPT, respective of the program you are studying?
So, if for engineering people, I know that your professor have like a whole lot of projects. So, you can't say you are going to do internship. The CPT is just like an internship, but it gives you some money because the company that you work for pays you. So, it gives you some money. So it depends on your program and then depend on the workload in your department and responsibility that is required from you. If your professor is the one paying you and he has a project ongoing, even I know people in the summer, they still work with their professor. So they don't do the 40-hour thing. The professor says that I'm the one who is paying your fees. So every day you must come to the lab. You have to do that. because we have projects on board. So it differs from department to department and program to program. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
yeah.
Finally, what are your closing remarks? Whatever you have to say for the over 250 people who are watching us now, graduate school, game plan, applications, funding, and more.
Mhm.
Anything you want to say that is going to like uplift someone's spirit, that is going to help someone not to give up, but keep on putting in the work, and anything that you can say that is going to also help someone put in an excellent or good application. The floor is yours for the next few minutes. If you want to say thank you to who have
Okay.
helped you in this journey, it's allowed
Yeah,
as well. So the floor is yours. Over to you.
yeah, yeah. So I would say that like don't people who have dreams to study abroad, don't give up. And if you are an undergraduate student and you are currently watching this video, you have a very good uh, starting point, because then you know what is required of you to do. When you are in school, make sure that you work towards your grades very well. Build that kind of rapport with your supervisors, advisors, lecturers, and those teaching assistants who help you, because sometimes some of the schools, if you request for recommendation, they will direct you to the teaching assistant. So if you disregard or you don't respect those teaching assistants, when you are doing this your application, you now reach out to them that, hey, I need recommendation. They will not mind you, because when you were in school, you don't respect them and all that. So building those rapports are very, very important, because it will help you on the journey out. And sometimes too, there are fake schools online, scam people. I've heard, when I was doing my process, I've heard people got scammed because they can create the fake institution and then be advertising it, that, oh, this school is admitting you go. So any school that you feel like they are requesting for money, they are just doing things like things that looks fictitious, should prick your conscience that no, this is not the right school I'm dealing with. Or and also check in with someone to see whether this is the right school, so that you don't get scammed. That, oh, you are doing tuition deposit. And that's one thing. Most of the US schools, they don't request for tuition deposit, except that few ones have started now, but majority do not request for tuition deposit. So once you are getting some of these emails and stuff, just check in with someone to see whether it's the right thing. But trust me, it doesn't matter how your economic background is. If you tell yourself that this thing, I'm going to do it, just be focused on it, that you are going to do it. Because people who know me, I mean, the day I went for my visa in my passport from um rich area there, I met one of my like group mates. We were in the same school, we finished the same school, we were in group since level 100 to level 1. And when I told her that, oh, I got American visa, I'll be traveling, like, it still doesn't believe, because like everybody knows me in the school. So like, I'm not someone that, I mean, traveling was reserved for people who are from like well-to-do homes. So anything traveling, then you should have money. That is the perception I thought it was, until I got into it and I realized that, look, like it is possible that it doesn't matter whether you are from well-to-do family or not. The thing is just there for everyone to try it out. Even some of the rich people are getting denied. So you are not the first person going to get denied. So don't get too much overwhelmed about the negative stories that you have. That, hey, you have money, do you have that? Can you do this? Can you at least save towards it, plan towards it, and work hard, and then achieve the grade, and then other things will follow. Because if you cannot have your second class after, you ended up having low class, and then low class too, you don't have any justification for it, that you are sick, you are this, you have all the luxuries to make it work, but you couldn't make it work. You can't go back to rewrite your exams or to make good grades. So at least get a better grade. Then when you complete the school, now focus on how you can use that better grade to secure some funding. But if something happened and you're unable to get a better grade, don't worry. Still push through and then work on your document. Get someone to review your document, and then you will be good to go. Yeah. So I just a whole lot of people have assisted in the process. People whose videos I watched, and then people who I have to contact for a thing or two. I'm just grateful. I mean, you don't mention names because if you don't remember to mention everyone, somebody may feel offended. So if you have assisted me in one way or the other, I'm grateful for whatever assistance. I mean, when I got a visa, one other thing that was challenging was how to get money for flights, because I told you my last money was what I used to pay for service fee.
Service fee.
And I think like money for flight is another whole session. And if I tell you, or if I start a story today, you feel marvelous. But yeah, when you secure the visa, money for flight, sometimes
Help will come. Help will
help
come.
will come. Yeah, just get a grade, get admission, get a visa, help will come. Yeah. So yeah, I just wish everyone, whatever you are doing, just make sure that what that question of what if is a big determiner in every decision that we take. So if you wake up and say, what if I do not get selected for this program? Also ask yourself, what if I get selected? And that should be your motivation. When a negative one comes, turn it around and tell yourself the positive one, and then keep working hard. And then I think that everything will be all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, my good brother Richard Mensah, who
Mm-hmm.
just finished Iowa State University, Mass Communication and Journalism. It's been an insightful 2 hour session, and
Mm-hmm.
you've shared with us your plan, what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and what prospective applicants need to look at or do during the application process. Please, if you are watching us now, before I sign out, remember to subscribe, is very important, to my YouTube channel, and also follow me on Facebook. We do this every Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. GMT. We bring to you graduate school discussions, and I'm starting a new series that is a question and answer session only on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. So I'm starting next week. So I'll be seeing you both Wednesdays and Thursdays now. So if you have not yet subscribed, if you have not yet followed me on any of my channels, please try your best and do that. This video will be recorded and it will be shared live on our YouTube channel. So you can just find time, watch everything from the beginning to the end, because it has various nuggets which are going to help you succeed in the process. Thank you for watching us, and we are very grateful. I'm signing out. See you same time next week. Bye bye.
Bye.